Cornel West is distinct. RFK is distinct. Trump is distinct. Even Joe Biden is distinct. Oh, man.
Nah.
Your head out of your ears. My God. The crisis in America right now.
I mean, look, the ultimate, they think that I don't know. I don't think Newsom's going to jump in unless for some reason he gets like the okay from somebody like Nancy Pelosi.
There is, well, in terms of who is waiting in the bullpen, the person who's waiting in the bullpen is Gavin Newsom.
Right. If and when Joe and his people decide that they're willing to actually step aside, that is when it will happen. Exactly. He's not going to jump.
The rumor out there is that Newsom is praying against all hope that Feinstein makes it to the finish line, as crazy as that sounds, because he really wants to run for president. And he does not want to go to war over Adam Schiff getting into the U.S. Senate. And if he had any balls, he would fight that fight. Barbara Lee or Katie Porter is who belongs there.
Well, because they have the system that they have there, it isn't without possibility.
That's true. One of those two will absolutely be going up against Adam Schiff.
It's better than it would be if they had our system. Like this is where their jungle primary is at least better than not having it, right? It isn't obviously as good as ranked choice. It isn't ranked choice, people. Great. But it's at least better.
But the problem that you're going to run into, and this is the real issue here in California, is let's say is there really any question about what's happening with Dianne Feinstein? She's dying. She's dying.
We all are.
And so she doesn't have a lot of time left, and it's very possible that she's not going to make it until next November. And so as a result, they're trying to get her.
They have to appoint someone? Is that how it works?
Well, if she passes away before November 6th of 2024, then yes, Governor Newsom appoints the next U.S. senator for however short a period that may be. The fear, of course, is that Governor Newsom specifically said that he would appoint a black woman to the U.S. Senate.
If that happens, but then there would still be their regular election at the regular time when her
the fear is that if you put Barbara Lee into that seat, especially for any period of time, the opportunity to unseat her, even if she's only there for a year, will be infinitely more difficult for for Adam Schiff than it would be if the circumstances were changed.
So that's probably then why she's hanging in there. And that's probably why Pelosi's daughter has been like right by her side, like from the get-go with all of this. And that's probably a big part of it is they know that if she goes, then there's an obligation to have it be Barbara Lee's seat. And they don't want that. So it's this.
They don't want it, just like they don't want the fight that's coming with Kamala Harris, because that's really what
with Kamala.
Kamala Harris knows that.
Where is she going from here?
Kamala's not going anywhere. She's going to either get reelected as the vice president of the United States, or her political career is over in a year and a few months. But that's where we're at, and that's what's going to happen. And so it's almost like you want to look, like you said, no one's getting out of here alive.
No, but we shouldn't be. When the mind is gone, we need to not be in positions that affect other people.
That's true.
When the argument is gone, that's time to step out of that position of power.
Now, the argument that's being made is that if Feinstein steps down or passes away, whichever comes first, that the GOP will simply, as McConnell always does, will hold up the appointment of approval for, let's say, Barbara Lee. But I got to tell you, even if that were the case, that's only going to help Barbara Lee politically in the state of California.
Why would who would hold it up?
McConnell.
I don't know that he has the authority to do that. If you're talking
The Senate
about,
would need you need a certain amount of votes in the Senate to get an approval, and McConnell will make sure the GOP votes no.
so even though it's Newsom's, even though it's within his
Correct.
authority to do it, okay.
But it's still the U.S. Senate. It still needs to be approved. It's different for Congress. So for
that
the
would
House.
really show you the fact that, as we've always said, that McConnell and Pelosi are on the same team.
100%, no question
So
about it.
they're both protecting that seat from Barbara Lee is basically what you're saying.
I don't even think they would necessarily care if it was Barbara Lee. I think they just care that Barbara Lee is not a complete corporate sellout, and they can't have somebody, especially from California, in that position of authority that isn't kowtowing to corporate special interests. There's just different ways of selling it, ladies and gentlemen.
The only person that voted against the war. The only person.
You can sell Gavin Newsom, and we'll do the same thing if you were trying to sell somebody as repulsive as Ted Cruz. At the end of the day, they're going to do mostly the same stuff. That's kind of how it is. So we really appreciate you guys.
Glitch out recently, guys. It is. We need Metalopoly. You're right. We need to shut down this geriatric. It's becoming like an assisted living situation, and I think it's actually worse on the Democrat side, but it's not good. But all around.
The reason it's worse on the Democratic side than the Republican side is because the Republicans are always looking for ways to make more money in the private sector. The Democrats, the Democratic leaderships are always more content to make money by just hanging into government and doing insider trading all the time.
And then there's people like Mitch McConnell and his wife that he doesn't have to do anything to make more money. He's just married to her.
Yeah, he's married to somebody who's high up in the Chinese government.
Well,
talk about it's
not
bad.
the government as much as it's the oligarchy. Like her family is like major money, right? So it's worse than government. It's the Chinese oligarchy that he's connected to. And again, this is no way a China thing, because I have no issue with that. I just think there is a conflict of interest when you're talking about a sitting senator having that kind of I don't know. I think it's not right.
I decided a long time ago that the only way that I'm leaving the U.S. Senate is with a proper burial in the U.S. Capitol, and that will happen sooner rather than later. I freeze.
It's so bad. It's so bad. I mean, he's just so bad.
I've done more to hurt this country for the past several decades, and I have made Kentucky the laughingstock of America.
That's sad to me, actually. It's so bad. It's not good.
Yes, it's unfortunate, but I really don't like people. I like to rule people, and I will rule them.
That's pretty good. You've been working on that, haven't you?
I just naturally speak this way.
No, you've been working on your McConnell.
Remember, everything's a distraction. I am not really here. I'm just pretending to be here.
Yes, you're just pretending to be here.
Dianne Feinstein is worse than me, and she will leave.
It's a nice race to the bottom you're having there with Senator Feinstein.
As long as I'm breathing, I will run for re-election of the United States Senate in 2026. So get used to seeing me in the chambers until I am a grim reaper, our turtle back in shell. So goodbye.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.